This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the first 3 episodes of season 3 of The Boys on Amazon.
Geek Boner.
Plus, Warner Brothers making big changes to their DC Films division. The Flash movie may actually be good, according to test screening audiences. The CW trying to put out another Batman-less Batman show. And Sony Pictures doesn't know when they're being trolled by the internet. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Sunday, June 5th, 2022.
This is Norm MacDonald, and you're listening to the, hang on, I got it here. It says, the Jock and Nerd Podcast, known for their series of gay erotica found on Amazon, No? That's not that? Oh. Well, I fucked that up, I guess.
Check. Check 1. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Shock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We shock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
Hi-yo, listener. What's up? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining us, the creator of the superhero serum Compound D, These Nuts, it's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
You stick it up your asshole.
Oh, is that where
I stick it up my asshole.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
where
he
the
does.
Compound D goes.
Yeah,
and
that's
then you
where
get
he-
superpowers. It's
Wow, we got to talk about that scene, by the way.
Oh my God! There's a lot of sticking in things scenes in The Boys.
Yeah.
We will get to that.
I got it. Usually on your intros, I find them clever, albeit cheesy.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a little critique on that one.
Okay.
Oh,
You could have just left it at Compound D.
Oh, I didn't have to explain the joke.
You didn't,
did I?
yeah, you don't explain the joke.
got too
If
eager.
people don't either treat your audience like they know it's like they're smart,
That's a good point.
or if they don't understand it, just leave it be. Then they don't get it.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. No,
and
I
also I could have said these nuts.
was
Yeah.
gonna leave it open for Rugs, but I couldn't. You know me, I couldn't help myself.
That's true.
I
You
get
have
excited.
to have to
Yes.
fill every second of air
you
with your
stepped
voice.
on these nuts, Imran.
Oh, ouch! Ooh, careful. No, that is a solid comedy criticism from the Jock. I will give you
Yeah.
points for that.
That's what he's here for.
This is a lesson.
I don't have the jokes, but I will critique your jokes.
No, that's good feedback. This is where this was a lesson. I did something, and then you showed me how to do it better, and now we all
Yeah, you
learned.
had it.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good.
So next time,
Next time, these nuts will not be uttered. But
just don't explain the joke.
you don't explain. I might not get it then. Oh, never mind.
All right.
All right. Okay, so we got a review. We got a little bit of geek news. Let's get into it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
I tried to find some DC movie news this week because we kind of been neglecting that side of things where, we're always talking about Marvel and some of the other things. There wasn't a lot of things to going on in the DC world right now as we wait for movies like Black Adam and Shazam 2 to come out. But the big news last week regards HBO, and now that Discovery owns Warner Brothers, not HBO, Warner Brothers. We've talked about how Discovery has bought Warner Brothers. They've merged. David Zaslav is now the guy who is in charge of things. So there's a big piece in the Hollywood Reporter about all the shakeups and changes. He has already let go of a lot of people. They've canceled many CW shows this past year, when traditionally every year, every CW show would just get renewed automatically year after year, if it was good or not. This year, a lot of the shows got axed, and I think it's because of Zaslav. So Toby Emmerich, who has been overseeing both Warner Brothers and New Line since 2017, is stepping down. Zaslav's trying to replace his role. And in this Hollywood Reporter article, it says that he's planning to create 3 verticals, each with its own person in charge. The 3 verticals would be one for Warner Brothers and New Line, one for DC Entertainment, and one for animation. So who is going to take over leadership for the DC Films vertical? Currently, Walter Hamada is DC Films president, but Zaslav is looking for someone for him to report to. And the article says that he has talked to Joker director Todd Phillips.
Oh, shit.
To, quote, do more in the DC universe, potentially acting as an advisor. It also says he wouldn't be an executive. He wouldn't serve as an executive. The article mentions that Zaslav and Todd Phillips have been getting along, but also that Todd Phillips is not a big DC universe comic book fan and or expert, right? Doesn't know a lot. He said that himself. So I find this kind of interesting. What do you guys think could do? Do you want to see Todd Phillips head up the DC films?
Why would he even want this job? It doesn't seem like he would want it. It's pretty much like a lock to be a terrible job.
Yeah, this is Zaslav has a tough job, and then to be the head of DC Films is even
you gotta really want to do
a harder job. Now, Todd Phillips delivered a $1 billion movie on like a $70 million spend, and multiple Oscar nominations. And didn't he win? Didn't Joaquin Phoenix win the Oscar for Joker?
He did.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was nominated for Best Picture. Makes $1 billion. Those are all successes, Anthony. You would think you'd want to reward with giving the guy some more power or leadership. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't sound like they want to make him the Kevin Feige, which is good. As far as making him an advisor, I don't know about that either. As you stated, he's not an expert in the broad DC universe. If you look at Joker, the movie, what he did was he just copied Taxi Driver and Kings of Comedy.
Yep.
And spun it with the Joker. Like that, I liked the movie, but to say this is the most original movie ever is not. If you watch either of those movies, you'll just see what he did with that. So, don't think that's a good fit for this guy.
Yeah, I don't want to utter the words Berlanti because I don't think that's the right fit either.
Snap.
But because he's like a TV dude, and
he knows his DC.
Well, he's been immersed in it long enough to kind of know things.
Yeah.
But I feel like that his tastes are all over the place. And didn't he do Titans?
Yes, he did. He's done good stuff and bad stuff, right?
So, like, that Superman series seems to be the best thing that he's done besides the first season of Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, Walter Hamada did an okay job kind of turning the tide a little bit and getting movies to be a little more successful and doing standalone movies. This was after, let me see. It was a few years ago.
2018.
January of 2018. Yeah.
He came on after Justice League performed like shit. So, I mean, he's done...
Post Justice League, yes.
He's done better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been better, but... I mean, they just don't have... They don't have a Feige guy.
Can I ask a question? So, Snyder got the axe after BVS. Then he never got to finish Justice League.
Yeah.
Now, do you think if Justice League came out as intended, I mean, not the 4-hour cut, obviously.
Right.
But the Snyder vision, do you think that it would have crashed and burned as badly as it did? Or you think that...
no.
So, yeah.
I don't think so. I think it would have done well. I think it helped. I think that movie, first off, I'll show you that I think that movie is good. I think it's actually, a pretty good, decent movie. A pretty good movie.
The 4-hour version.
The 4-hour version. I don't know what it would have looked like. It probably would have been better, hopefully, right? You had a decent editor, better. I think it was helped by the fact that you had all this pent-up support for the Snyder Cut. At the time when that movie was coming out, there was a lot of anti-Snyder stuff. It was a very divisive...
Yeah, but DC didn't stand behind him.
No, they threw him under the bus.
Yeah, that was some cowardice.
Yeah, I think it would have obviously done... I think because it's a good movie, I think it would have done well and potentially could have spawned a better direction. It's just they just panicked after how bad Batman versus Superman was and how it was received.
I think things would have played out differently had they let him finish his movie, right? And it wouldn't have been as worse. It would have been better. And
Mira would have had a British accent.
Oh yeah, did she ever?
In Justice League, she did. In Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, that's right. But I think they would have made like different movies, and maybe they make the Flash movie sooner and a Cyborg movie.
There should have been a Justice League Part 2.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. And he would have got greenlit to continue. the thing, but that whole thing crashed and burned, and Walter Hamada comes on and he's like, okay, we're just going to make separate movies and you with separate directors and they can kind of play in their sandbox. And that kind of worked. The standalone movies have been somewhat better.
It's worked, but it's not worked in that, like, every Marvel movie that gets released is an event.
Right.
Like, we're at a level where even if they're like okay movies, people are everyone's talking about have you seen it or not. I just don't feel like you get the same buzz with DC movies.
Yeah, Zaslav's got a fucking job to do. He's got to get their shit together somehow and find someone and maybe bring like Superman back. Maybe bring Henry Cavill back and start from scratch with Superman. Maybe you do that and anchor it on that.
It's just one of those things that DC is kind of old hat because Superman's been out, since like the George Reeves TV show, like probably even before that. So Superman's been around a long time, and it's kind of like, it's old to everyone. Batman's been around a long time, and we've seen 1,000 Batman movies. The only character that's kind of fresh is Wonder Woman. And they don't really have any interest in a lot of the other characters. So it's kind of like weird to kind of keep this thing alive.
Yeah, and imagine if you're just a casual superhero fan, at this point, Marvel is such a staple that you're either fully in and you're fully in the universe or you're kind of tired of it. And DC is in this position where they're the second in terms of getting in front of fandom. Like, everyone considers Marvel the standard now. And there's a segment of the population that's like, we're getting tired of these Marvel movies. So then DC is going to come in and do what? They're going to make their own universe that now everyone has to get involved in. I just don't. They're just not in a great spot.
No, I mean, I think some of the smartest things they did was to give you an R-rated Suicide Squad, right? And an R-rated Peacemaker show and really do something Marvel could not do. That they, so
that's their edge, yeah.
But the only thing is, and we don't know what they got on Peacemaker on HBO Max, but that movie did horrible.
The movie did
office.
not do well, and it is
not Peacemaker. I'm sorry, the Suicide Squad,
and it's a really fun.
And it's universally considered a really good movie.
It is, and it's such a shame. It's a very good movie, and then you had Joker. They took a risk with this Joker. Also, another article says Todd Phillips is ready to start on the sequel. He's close. They're close.
Doing a sequel.
Yes, there's going to be a Joker too. Which Martin Scorsese movies is he going to rip off this time? Let's guess. It's going to be Goodfellas and something else. I don't know.
And Casino.
He'll just smash those together. Do we want to see? Does that movie even need a sequel? I mean, from Warner Brothers' perspective, a movie makes $1 billion. They're going to want to milk it. Because they're just
didn't
dumb.
he say, Phillips, that this was a standalone film? I forgot if we said that.
He might have said that, but I think he said he was open to things if he could find a good story. I don't think the movie needs a sequel, and then they've given us the Batman, which also sets itself apart from the Marvel movies, and even all the other DC movies. So the shit is all over the place.
Is Joker? Quick thought question. Is Joker a good Joker movie, or is it just a good psychopath movie? Or not psychopath, mentally disturbed movie?
It's a good character study of a person with mental issues played by Joaquin Phoenix.
But is it actually like, when you think about it, is it actually a Joker?
No.
Yeah, I've heard that argument too when I think about it.
It's close enough where you can make that leap, but it's still off the mark. Yeah,
right.
The thing is, would he been better off like adapting Killing Joke? Like, you can't do this movie without Batman, right? There's a lot of these movies, so they're trying to make all this shit without Batman, and it just gets a little messy.
I think Joker is just it obviously worked, right, in terms of fandom. Like, fans liked it. It got Oscar love, but I don't think Joker by himself is a character that you build a lot of movies around.
Yeah.
Like, that he's best as kind of this tornado that comes into town and wreaks havoc for a little bit and then disappears. Yeah. At least in my opinion.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is creepy as fuck, and I loved his performance. But that could have been, you could have called it something else. It didn't really need to be the Joker. It could have been anything about an unhinged character.
well, the movie doesn't do as well as it does if they don't name
No,
it Joker.
and nobody goes to see it. Anyways, listener, what do you think about these shakeups over at Warner Brothers? Who should be in charge of DC films? Let us know your thoughts. Join the Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It is a closed group just for you. Lots of spoiler threads because there's a lot of shows and movies and things coming out. So right now, there's ongoing spoiler threads for every episode of Obi-Wan. There's a Stranger Things Season 4 spoiler thread. There's The Boys spoiler thread. I put up a Top Gun Maverick spoiler thread for Jesse Rodriguez. Somebody wanted it. I was like, okay, here you go. And then Miss Marvel, there'll be a spoiler thread for that and other things. Lots of things to watch and
your
react.
day is coming, Imran.
Oh, my God. Yes, Miss Marvel is coming soon. We will talk about that.
Now, if Kumail Nanjiani is in Miss Marvel, what will happen?
Oh,
Will
my
you-
God. I will just lose my geek boner.
He will shoot into the freaking moon.
Oh, no, there's a lot of brown actors in this show. So I don't need Kumail. We're going to have a lot of good supporting characters.
All right.
We'll see. I can't some early reviews have come out comparing it to like Spider-Man Homecoming, which is exactly what I kind of think it should be, you know? Anyways, moving on to other problematic things Warner Brothers has to deal with. A new report coming out saying the Flash movie that's not due out till next year has screened and it's doing well, extraordinarily well received by test screening audiences. Of course, the studio has to say this. They say it every time for every movie. But a lot of people are excited, and they also reports that Ezra Miller isn't going to be replaced, basically because it would be near impossible to reshoot the whole movie with somebody else. So they're just going to let it ride, and hopefully...
You know what the best thing is for Ezra Miller?
What? Stay in their hotel room.
No. You know what's the best thing that's happened to Ezra Miller?
Oh, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's taken all the attention away, and everyone's going, get that girl out of it. She's not Mira. Get her out
Yeah,
of
so
it.
they- yeah.
No one wants to see her anymore.
Yeah, Johnny Depp did kind of win his defamation.
He helped Ezra Miller, too, get the attention
he'll
off
take
of
the
him.
heat off of Ezra
You
Miller.
know what
a
I
little
think they
bit.
should do? It'd be the easiest thing to do. Well, yeah, kind of. Take the tall, lanky kid from Stranger Things,
Yes.
and tell him to pack on like 15 pounds, and no one would even notice it's a
Oh,
different
he
person.
kind of does look like Ezra Miller, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Is he
they're
the
the
kid
same
that was
guy.
in Ghostbusters, too?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the guy,
Afterlife?
Finn
Yeah,
Wolfhard.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could take Finn Wolfhard and pass him off as the Ezra Miller.
Lanky Flash.
That might work. I think Warner Brothers is also, they want to keep Ezra Miller because of it's kind of progressive for them to have a non-binary queer lead in a superhero movie at the moment, right? So I think they want to hold on to that.
Is that how, geez, that's the angle you're going with.
Look,
You forgot in that description, you forgot that slaps people around and throws shit
yes,
at
that,
people.
that gets in trouble with the law. They want
Hits
people,
women.
Yes, it gets restraining orders thrown on him.
I like how you tried to just
But
look at
I,
the bright
It's a
side.
valiant effort.
I'm trying to put my shoes in the Warner Brothers side of things. Like maybe
I
they'll
don't think it's
forget about
that.
that.
I think it's the fact that they shot an entire movie with this asshole. And
yeah,
they can't do
and
anything.
they can't get
about
rid
it.
of it. They
Well,
can't
whatever.
change it.
If he's allowed to play Flash, then let the girl play Mara. Who
See,
cares?
that's
Amber.
the thing. Is there going to be a double standard? Like, if
Yeah.
you got to do the same thing to both people. If you're going to let one stay, you have to
As
let
long
the
as
other
you're
one
not
stay.
in jail, you're good. You can play whatever
As long
part
as
you
you
want.
haven't murdered somebody in public,
Eh,
I suppose. Even then,
Yeah, even then, OJ's gotten a lot of roles.
afterwards, has he?
no, I don't know.
He's not in jail.
No, he's out of jail. There's another concerning thing about this Flash movie. There's a report from Deadline.
Well, actually, that's a good thing. Didn't you say that they got good reviews? That's not concerning.
No, this report is concerning. Deadline put out this report. It says, quote, a high-profile comic book movie set to debut next year recently had its final script submitted to the WGA for screenwriting credit, and insiders tell Deadline that a staggering 45 writers had some sort of involvement with the script at various stages through the development process. Now, the speculation is that they're talking about the Flash movie, and it's never good when you have over 20 writers. I guess over 5 writers is not good. 40.
They had like 3 directors too.
Oh, they went through several directors.
Yeah.
And this movie has been trying to come out for years, but the script.
What if they're crediting the comic book writers that like came up with the story initially?
I think it's more the people who have come and gone working on this thing, because it's had so many delays. And
that's a lot of writers.
Yeah. Remember Ezra Miller went to Grant Morrison at one point and was like, will you polish up this script?
He like threatened to choke him and then said, will you write this movie?
I'm going to throw this thing at you if you don't rewrite this movie.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison.
Throw a chair at you.
And now Grant Morrison took out a restraining order on Ezra Miller. So, man, we'll see. This is like one of their bigger movies next year, right? So they got a lot riding
Their
on
movie
this.
still could be their movie that gets people standing up and cheering because they got Michael Keaton in this. They got Ben Affleck. Michael Shannon's in this.
Yeah, this is a big
Bringing
one.
back a bunch of different characters.
This is a big one for them. So we will see. Now I don't know if I'm excited to see a train wreck or excited to see Michael Keaton return as Batman. But
there's potential for it to be a good
it
movie.
is, right? That's the thing. And if they do Flashpoint in some fashion and reset things, this could be good. But 45 writers, what kind of state is this script in? Okay, so back to speaking of the CW and Greg Berlanti. I just said a lot of CW superhero shows were canceled. Superman and Lois being the last one on, and it started up again, and it's still really good. But they just released a trailer for another Batman-less Batman show, and I put this in here because what the fuck is this? It's called Gotham Knights. Did you guys get a chance to watch this teaser trailer?
I did.
Rugs, you need to
You want to pause and let him watch it real quick?
Watch this thing because I need to know. I need to process this with you guys.
All right.
Okay, Ruggs has watched it. Anthony, wait, let's start with you. What this show, Gotham Knights, according to the trailer, what do you deduce that it's about?
Well, I looked up what it was about.
Okay, what is the show about?
Because I watched, when I first watched it, it took about 40 seconds in, and I was going, what the fuck?
Yes.
I was going, wait a minute.
What's happening?
I got so confused that I thought Harvey Dent was Bruce Wayne's son.
No.
I didn't realize that Harvey Dent was the old man and that they made up this, or I don't know if this is a made up character or not, but this Turner guy.
Some kid named Turner Hayes, who is Bruce Wayne's adopted son, that they just made up.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, besides that confusingness and the fact that it's another CW, I mean, it's just, I haven't watched Lois and Clark or whatever. What's it called?
Yeah, it's called Lois and Clark. Superman and Lois is what it's called.
Apparently that's good.
Yeah.
So, and there was a time when some of these CW shows were good, but my God, who's greenlighting CW shows at this point?
What is happening?
It just seems like a show from an era that was a decade ago.
This is like the Birds of Prey show from like the early 2000s. So in this Batman,
that was better than this.
This is probably better. In this another Batman-less show, Bruce Wayne has been murdered, and this adopted son from somewhere forms a team with the children of Batman's, like Joker's daughter. You have a Carrie Kelly Robin that pops in. You have Harper Row, Stephanie Brown characters, and a new Harvey Dent. But even
who's Harper Row? Who's that?
Harper Row was like some kid. I thought she was like a journalist in the that is a character in the Batman comics.
This looks like some bullshit.
This is she's
part of the Batman family.
She was known as Bluebird. She's gifted at electrical engineering, Harper Row. But even for CW, this is the most CW shit I've ever seen.
This looks like fucking garbage.
Oh my God. Like,
it looks like garbage.
Why? The show looks like it's embarrassed to even mention Batman. Then there's like really bad looking Batman cowls in it. And just why? Why are you doing this?
I just don't know. First of all, I don't even know why, like, who's watching the CW at this point?
But like, they tried Gotham.
Yes.
They tried Birds of Prey. They tried the Alfred show.
Pennyworth has had a couple seasons. Yeah.
And they all are not really noteworthy. Other than Gotham was just ridiculous. It was unwatchable.
Again,
What about Batwoman, where the actress had to leave after
Yes.
the first season?
that lasted 3 seasons.
And then you got Tiddens.
Yes, which is another Batman. Well, there's sort of Batman
All
in
of
there,
them
but
are just completely unwatchable failures. Or I think Pennyworth was at least okay to watch.
yeah, Pennyworth had some good action, but like it doesn't matter that he's Alfred Pennyworth, right? It's just another spy show.
Yeah, like what are they doing?
I mean, well,
like
you had Arrow, which was an awesome Batman show. Like, why can't we just make a fucking live action Batman TV show already? What are you
could
doing?
do a Nightwing show if you don't want to do a Batman show. You could do a Nightwing show.
That's
because
called
he's
Tiddens, and it's not good.
He's in his own city. He doesn't have to do anything to do with Batman at that point, and then you can do that. You can do I don't know, something else. But like this is just stupid.
This is ridiculous and just generic looking, and I don't get it. I don't know why.
For our maybe the one teenage listener that we have.
Yes, is this appealing?
Yeah, is this kind of vibe? Is this appealing? Because I feel like
it's insulting.
CW shows. Yeah, it seems insulting almost. It also seems like it would appeal to me if I was 12 and thought this was how teenagers and young adults act.
Absolutely. It doesn't work for the teenagers.
It's very patronizing.
It's pandering and absolutely. And I'm like, what? This show is going to get canceled even before it fucking airs. Even the Batwoman show got 3 seasons before they canceled it. I'm surprised.
Well, that's because they were greenlighting everything, without question.
Not anymore. That David Zaslav's going to step in and be like, no.
This shit is dead in the water.
Oh, my God.
I hope that they do the fight scenes like they did in Arrow when Arrow got really bad, where it was just like fight choreography with a camera above them, and they were just doing, like, it was almost as if they were dancing and they just playing the music.
Yes.
And the guns never hit anybody.
And there's also, it's confusing because there's a video game coming out called Gotham Knights with actual Red Hood and Damian and Nightwing and Batgirl. And I thought that's what they were going to do here. But no, you can't. They can't. They don't want
all the kids.
It's just kid. Like, just why? Just stop.
I know that this was the pitch. Listen, we're going to use the name Batman and we're going to put zero money into this show. It's just a talking head show. It's just a bunch of kids running around. No need for effects. No need for crazy action sequences and blah, blah, blah.
No suits.
It'll be
we
really
don't need
cheap.
costumes. Yes.
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll build towards the costumes in the last episode.
Yes, and they put it on, and then
it seems like it's like DC's version of the Runaways, but then they threw in Gotham Knights.
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad analogy because they were all
with a murder mystery.
Yeah, and they were all
kids of
the villains, and that's kind of what's happening here. They're like, let's just make it Batman.
But why make up a character like Turner, whoever the hell his name is?
Who is this adopted? Like, I thought that would have been like Damian Wayne, right? That would have made sense. It's not Damian. Who is this kid?
Yeah, and it's like his kid. It just doesn't make sense. It's his kid that is throwing parties at his house.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't see Bruce, the Bruce Wayne that most people associate with Batman. I don't see him having a kid that's just going to be this delinquent kid that's throwing parties at his house while he's gone.
No.
And the kid has no idea that he's Batman.
You know what would be really cool is if they were writing this as it was a Damian Wayne show. Like Damian Wayne is over there with Ra's al Ghul and his mom, and he finds out the Batman's been killed. But since he is legally his next of kin, he gets the Wayne fortune, and so he goes into Gotham and claims his birthright, and then he starts to turn against his family because he starts to see all the shit that Bruce Wayne did, and he starts to have this hero worship of his father.
Ooh, see, I'd watch that. That's a good show. That's a much better show already.
Yeah, these people suck.
But it shouldn't be on CW regardless.
No, it looks like that Riverdale show. It's like they took the Riverdale leftovers and made a Gotham Batman show without.
Yeah, I mean, you can name Supernatural,
yeah, Supernatural,
all the CW
all those shows.
Where
it's all kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
they hire kids, young adults that they believe are good looking, and they throw them in these roles, and they have them all have this melodrama with each other where they're having existential crisis, but they all want to fuck each other. They can't fuck because
you need
it's
to have
CW.
shipping. You need to have all representation, teenage angst, trendy problems that are happening.
This is just horrible CW. The Flash is
it's just very
still
by
on.
the books, predictable stuff.
I'm surprised this made it past any kind of fucking lighting, any color lighting. Should have fucking killed this show.
Yeah, we're not the demo for
Yeah,
this.
I mean, obviously, I will not
clearly
be
not.
watching, but I had to share to show, like, what the fuck? Look at what they're doing now. They haven't learned to just let it rest. David Zaslav, you have a lot of work to do. Listener, check out our TeePublic shop because there's a lot of work you can do there by buying our merch. jockandnerd.com/shop. There are sales all the time. It is tank top weather. We got lovely tank tops with our logo with Rug Boy's face. Lots of other fun things. Cell phone
Is there
cases.
a Rug Boy bikini yet? Or
Oh,
not yet?
you know what? I got to work on the specs for that.
Rugkini?
A rugkini. A rugkini.
Yeah.
There should be, and then there should be like a banana hammock Rug Boy.
Yeah,
for
put rugs
the
on your
boys.
rug.
Yeah. A Rug Boy Speedo maybe and bikini set. Oh, I like that for beach time. Go out in the rugs.
An umbrella.
Rugkini.
Imagine
Yes.
you open an umbrella with my face on it. That'd be great.
That's a great idea.
None of those projects exist.
Yes, I will get on top of that. Probably not. Last thing in the news, this shit is just funny. Okay. Have you guys seen? It's about Morbius, the movie Morbius. Remember that movie?
I saw
Morbius?
something about it's Morbin time.
Have you seen this meme? It's Morbin time on the internet. You guys, Ruggs, you
not.
haven't seen it, Anthony?
No.
Ruggs,
I seen like one or two references to it.
basically, people have just been kind of trolling the movie and saying it's Morbin time and making it a meme and combining people's faces and other sayings. They've memed the shit out of Morbius in the last few weeks. One of my other favorite tweets is people going, highest grossing Morbius film ever. That's that's really funny, right? It's Morbin time. So the internet has been trolling this movie. And Sony, looking at this, what do they think? What do they do? What do they think is a good idea? They're like, oh, people really must want to see this movie again. Let's re-release it in more theaters. They re-released it on last Friday into 1,000 more theaters. This thing is already on streaming already. Thinking people will go out and see it. The movie makes $85,000 on Friday.
Oh,
That's more than I thought it would.
But and then it made 280,000 over the weekend. This movie's box office, the budget was 75 million. Domestically, it's only made $73 million. 163 million worldwide, but domestically, they haven't even made back their budget. And like, did they not understand? Like, even Jared Leto, they had Jared Leto reading a fake script that said Morbius 2, it's Morbin time, to kind of go along with the joke. But could they not tell that they were just fucking it was a shit post and they fell for it? Sony, the fuck are you doing? I think it's hilarious.
It's funny the things that trend. I had no idea.
They think that they could turn this shit around by like going along with it and being like, ha, we get the joke.
We're in on the joke. No, you're not.
But that never works.
No, you're not. I mean, of course, it's Morbin time, a take on It's Morphin time, which is ironic because Morbius screenwriters was Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless. These two guys also wrote the 2017 Power Rangers movie. And they are
Not surprising.
Yes.
Wow.
And they're also
Wow.
writing the Madam Web movie, which could
Floppy John.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
this is a fucking mess. It's gonna be a disaster.
Wow.
But I can't believe they thought that this when people were actually gonna come watch this movie again. I could see this being like a cult movie in the vein of like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, where you go and you throw shit at the screen and you have responses to the lines.
The only logic I can think of is they went, well, in No Way Home, they included Norman Osborn saying, I'm something of a scientist
Yes.
myself, which was a meme.
Yeah, and the
That's-
pointing
that's
meme.
the-
Yes.
It's the only, and they included the pointing meme, which the only reason those were in there was because of the internet, and maybe they went, we can capitalize on the internet taking over with something and re-release the movie and make a little bit more change.
How much you want to guarantee if they make a sequel to this, he says it's Morbin time and they're going to think it's funny and it's going to be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're 100%.
I'm sure the guy
They
who
make-
suggested the re-release is fired now.
Probably. Sony is just a bunch of assholes over there. It's just, he's got to say it now. It worked at No Way Home. That's how you properly use the meme in the movie, and you don't put it out there so this movie now flops at the box office 2 times, what's everybody saying.
shit.
Has that's got to be a record. I don't think
Two-time flopper.
it's a 2-time flopper. They just let it rest, Sony. I don't know what you're doing over there.
Just kill the living vampire, please.
Yes, he's not alive anymore. It was not morbin time. I'm gonna morb all over myself later thinking about this. I don't know what that means. Anyways,
I don't either, and I don't want to know.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Nobody asked. Let's take a break here, guys. We'll play some promos, and we come back and talk about some more fucked up shit in The Boys Season 3 premiere review right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Have you ever been reading through a stack of comics and thought, maybe I should see what this Arkham Asylum game is all about? Or been playing Marvel vs. Capcom and felt like you were at a real disadvantage since you didn't know who half the characters were? Well, Play Comics is the show for you. I'm Chris, and each episode we take a look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material. So whether you know the comics and want to know how all these games work, or you know the games and want to find out where all this craziness came from, go check out Play Comics at playcomics.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Do you like superheroes? Do you like movies, television shows, and comic books? Do you like listening to a guy rant about these things for hours on end? Well, then you're in luck, because you need to check out Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape. Featuring me, Scott James Meridew, we'll be talking about a variety of geek and nerdy issues, joined each week by a rotating panel of guests that will try to contain me. Jokes on them, I cannot be contained. So please join us on Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape, where superheroes go to relax, but I never do. Cue the music!
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can support the show on a monthly basis, annual basis. Thank you to listener Patreon supporter John Hamper. He increased his support this week.
Oh, shit.
Johnny Hamps, you the man. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. You get access to an exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content, instant reactions to movies and things, and post shows. You also get Discord benefits. We do a monthly Discord hangout just for our Patreon subscribers. June's Discord hangout will be Thursday, June 23rd. Tentatively, it might change. Check the Patreon page for the latest date. And you can pick any movie. There's a You Pick It tier. You can pick any movie. Force us to watch and review. A lot of fun stuff over there. Become a member of the Jock and Nerd fan club today. Sign up. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. All right, let's get to this week's review. We have The Boys Season 3 premiere on Amazon. First 3 episodes have dropped. Here is your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This show, created by Eric Kripke, based on the comic book series by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. Now, 3 episodes, a lot of things happened. There's a lot of plot. Anthony, how do you want to do this? Do you want to catch us up where we were, and then we just dive into it? Or should we could talk about the plot as we talk about the various characters? There's a lot of characters on this show.
Oh, man. I'll just do a brief plot. I won't even do a recap. I'll just say where we're at.
Okay.
So at this point, the boys have been working for a year underneath this with the CIA, I guess. Not the CIA, the government, let's say.
The government, yes.
The government, they're working with the government to take down Vought and Soups legally. And Huey has the in with the government, and he's working with someone in the government that's powerful, but is also secretly a superhero working for Vought. Alongside that, you have Starlight trying to help them inside the boys, and you have an increasingly unstable Homelander as he's from the last season. He's lost the love of his life, he's lost his son, and he's still being controlled, and he's very, very unstable now. You also have the Deep, who wants to get back into the boys, or not to the boys, with the seven.
Yeah.
You have A-Train, who's lost his powers and trying to figure out who he is while he's still being in the 7. And you have, as mentioned, the boys. Mother's Milk is not there right now. He's with family.
Yeah.
He's trying to live a normal life. And the butcher is balancing watching the kid that his wife, his now dead wife, has left for him.
Who the kid killed accidentally.
The kid killed, yeah. Who the kid killed. And he's also trying to take down Vought on the straight and narrow, but the butcher is not the kind of guy that likes to work with other people, so he's trying to find other methods to take down Vought, most especially he wants to kill Homelander. So that's kind of where we're at.
That is where we're at. You got Butcher taking orders from Huey, which is crazy. Okay, so...
Did you mention V24?
Oh, and there's a new compound Temp V, V24. Gives you powers for 24 hours that Stan Edgar of Vought is trying to sell to the military. Anthony, lots of fucking crazy moments in this first 3 episodes. We've loved this show so far. Overall thoughts, is The Boys back?
Well, it's definitely back on Amazon.
It's back on TV, but is the quality still there? Is the feeling... Does it still have that feeling?
Yeah, I would say The Boys is the type of show that not everyone's going to like. It's a dark comedy satire on how the world is and what superheroes are like. So if you've enjoyed the first 2 seasons, I think you'll continue to enjoy season 3 so far. It's definitely upping the ante in a lot of stuff with a lot of weird, gross shit. So yeah, I think I personally enjoy it. But I wouldn't say I could recommend this to everybody.
That is a good point, because there are moments in these 3 episodes that made me uncomfortable to where I physically had to, I couldn't watch. I was like, oh my God. But I continued to watch. I thought I love this show, and to me, it had the same feeling of the first 2 seasons. It was hitting for me, and it was great. And how topical its references and its satire is both eye-opening and just crazy. Ruggs, what'd you think of these 3 episodes and the show so far?
Well, the first episode goes for broke. It's just okay, we're going to throw some crazy shit at you, the craziest shit that we got. So basically you could all know what the fuck you're getting into if you're watching season 3. And it doesn't shy away. You open with the boys. They're supposed to be doing surveillance on this superhero who's like the Ant-Man who can increase his size.
Yes, his name is Termite. Yes.
And they go to this coke-fueled party where this little Ant-Man dude is banging a sex doll that's the size of a Barbie.
Yeah, he has a Barbie.
And everybody's cheering him on. And then that wasn't enough. They're like, we got to go even more crazy. So now we're going to have this gay love scene, and he says, I want you in me. And I'm like, okay, well, he's going to put his dick in him, but no, it has to go even further. And I'm like, oh, he's going to shrink and fuck him in the himself, go into his ass.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
And then I was like, no, they're not doing that. He's going to shrink and go into the tip of the guy's dick.
Just talking about it makes me a little uncomfortable.
And then, of course, he coughs.
Because he's been coked up. He's got coke up all he sneezes.
And he grows to full size and basically rips the dude in half.
Inside. Through his dick. Rips him in half and explodes. And you are like, what?
That's the first 10 minutes of the show.
Holy shit, what an opening.
So if you're on board to see shit like that
now,
this is your show.
Arguably, that's going to turn a lot of people off, right? It's kind of like the pig fucking episode of Black Mirror.
I thought it was great, but I was just glad I'm watching this by myself without anyone I know.
I mean, I love how it's a spoof on that theory about how Ant-Man would kill Thanos by going up his butt and expanding and killing.
It is
but man, apparently they built, I don't know if it was a set, it was a giant penis set or tunnel or what, but it was just, I was like, no.
I don't love how that's being pitched to the VFX team. Listen, we got it. We need a dick. Okay. But we need a giant dick. We need a dick that's so big you can walk through it. All right, let's make a giant dick.
Anthony, what thoughts on that scene? What did it make you? Did it make you wince at all?
I mean, I've come to recognize that the boys will do things like this, but I definitely watched it and was like, this is they're just pushing the envelope
Yes.
so hard
Yes.
on this. I was like, oh my goodness, this is when he's in there. I mean, yeah, as Ruggs described it, you think it's going to play out one way, and then you realize, oh, he wants him inside his penis hole. And then he's stroking him inside the penis, and he's go to the prostate.
Oh, he does say go to the prostate.
Go to the prostate, and he's just like, I'm going to make you like whatever, and it's
Can
like,
you
oh
get
my
to
god,
the prostate through the shaft? I don't know. Can you?
I don't
Go far
know.
enough? I don't know.
I'm sure you could if you're that size. But it's just one of those things where you go, oh, yep. You ask the question, are the boys back? You're like, oh yeah, the boys
are
are
back.
back.
That's what I was
Amazon.
talking about.
Oh.
This fucking it's shocking.
I'm in the vast D friends. I don't even know if that's even in the dick.
I
I'm just-
know, and then I love he throws him in a bag of cocaine, and it's just like he just
Shakes him up.
Yeah, he's just ODing because it's giant cocaine particles. Oh my god, that was just like I was like, what did I just watch here? What is happening?
The boys is good for doing that for at least one to three times a season.
Yes,
So
yeah, but every episode has like a crazy fucking death scene, mostly involving people exploding, which is what I've noticed. I love the opening bit where they show that movie that's kind of like the spoof of like Justice League and the whole hashtag release the Snyder cut. They do it. And fucking Charlize Theron is everywhere. She's out of nowhere. She's playing now Stormfront's part because Stormfront was a Nazi and Stormfront is not dead also at this point in the first season. And that's a disturbing scene.
Right.
When Homelander goes to visit her and she jerks him off with the one arm she has left.
A dry hand.
Yes.
Like not even
from the hospital bed.
There's no lube.
She's all burnt up and I'm like, oh God. Let me tell you something. This show though, great world building on this show and great writing so far. And Anthony Starr playing Homelander, you could see everything in his eyes. Just this disdain, this fucking psychopath right behind the eyes. It's amazing. He's so good. And the character is so interesting. And they've just done wonders with Homelander.
well, that scene is also important because yes, she is jacking him off with one hand while she's basically paralyzed or in a coma. But he basically puts her to her out of her misery unwittingly by saying that he doesn't care about her mission for the Aryan race.
Oh,
he just
that's
goes,
right.
I'm the
fucking hero.
I'm the one.
Yeah.
I'm the hero. I'm the superior being. I don't give a shit about the Aryan race. And that's what puts her to later on in one of the episodes kill herself. She's like, this guy he's not on board with what I wanted.
Yeah, and I love the rehearsed answers he has to field in all the press where they're just like, could you not know she was a Nazi? And you see him saying the same shit over and over again. It reminded me of that Elizabeth Holmes lady and that show, The Dropout, about the blood tests, how she would act like that too. She would just say the same shit over and over again. Just sociopathic, right? Also pushing his buttons is Stan Edgar. He's controlling him. He makes Starlight co-captain of the Seven, much to Homelander's dismay, because now he has to share the spotlight, and Homelander has some fun with this too. Everyone is in interesting places, and everyone has interesting things going on, I found, in this. The world building is great. Did you notice all like the TV networks they have? There's like VTV, Voxel, Vodamundo. There's VBS, VNN. The NRA is the VRA. They have a streaming service.
They're really, got a stranglehold on everything.
The amusement park scene in the second episode, Vaughtland, which is this fucking pandering amusement park. I loved all the details at this place where there's rainbow flags everywhere. Did you guys catch any of the names of the concession stands at Vaughtland? They were hilarious.
One was like, I don't remember. One was something with tacos.
There was one. First of all, they have Queen Maeve's Inclusive Kingdom is what it's called.
Yeah.
There was one called Woke Walk.
Woke Walk.
And then my favorite, there was a stand that said LGB turkey legs. I was like, oh my God. It's fucking dead on perfect though.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna see all kinds of corporate, pandering and stuff. They're doing it. They're trying to make the bucks. They see a market there. They gotta go after it.
It's so well done, with the movies and the fucking American Hero reality show. Them trying to find the next members of the Seven. That's also great, and they filmed it perfectly, like a reality show.
Well, then I mean, they also have one of the leads in that reality show is a kid.
Yes.
That they've been pushing for a while. That they're doing the whole kid teenage actor coming up, and then now as an adult, and now they're pushing them to come back into the mainstream. Similar to how a lot of child actors, look at like a Drake or a Britney Spears or a Justin Timberlake. They were all young actors or singers, and then they got pushed back up once they became adults.
Supersonic was in a boy band.
Right.
And now he's Supersonic, and then he has a line. He's singing the song called License to Drive, and there's a line where he sings, now you're 16, making me crazy, or something.
Right, something along the lines of being 16 is good.
Yes.
Now you're ready.
And I was like, what the fuck is this song? Is this amazing? Oh, the satire and the spoof and the parody is so good on this show.
I figured I like the show, but this is because you're such a big Idiocracy guy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I feel like this is all way up your alley.
Yeah.
All the little details they have about making fun of shit that's going on.
And they do it. They do it a lot. They do it well.
It's very it's a big satire. It's it's completely poking fun at a lot of stuff that's going on. It's very subtle and sometimes it's hitting you over the head.
Sometimes it's a little heavy-handed. Yes.
Sometimes you miss it, and sometimes it's just you can't miss it. So it's uneven, but yeah.
I think what the thing is though, and you can harp on all those big and little, the gross out moments, the little details, but I think what makes the show at least good for me so far is that they have an interesting plot. And what you're interested in is, okay, how the fuck are they going to deal with Homelander? How the fuck are they going to deal with the fact that Huey's been working for this lady that was also on the Inwood Vault, and she can explode your head at any fucking moment. And Starlight's stuck in a situation where she has to put on a smiling face with this psychopath.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the Soldier Boy stuff that they're discovering and the subplot with Mother's Milk and how his Soldier Boy killed his family.
Yeah.
And the fact that now Butcher, who's hated superheroes for all his life, has a superhero son that he's looking over and has access to Compound V and can make himself a superhero.
And he takes a dose, and he's a little hungover. He's having trouble with it after the fact. But that scene with gunpowder was also crazy. And he just freaks out and laser eyes him. I find it's interesting that, like, Butcher, who hates Homelander, ends up kind of with Homelander's powers. Like, that's a great fucking bit of writing there. The other thing I really appreciate about the writing is we knew Victoria Newman, that the Congresswoman, she was the head popper, right? So in a lot of shows, they would drag this out for the character, like Huey. Like, the audience knows this. You're just waiting until Huey finds out, and sometimes it takes forever. People don't talk. Not here. By the end of the first episode, he sees her. He follows her with that dude, Tony. He sees her explode him and realizes that she's a soup, and now that's busted, and he feels like an asshole for following her. But then, instead of hiding that from Butcher, he tells Butcher right away, and they're all back, and the boys are all back, and I thought that was great. I thought the writing has been good.
That's like good writing is when things happen as they should.
Right. This is exactly what would happen.
Like, that's exactly what should happen. Like, yeah, if he finds out, he's going to tell Butcher, even though he probably doesn't want to. And Butcher's going to use the V, even though he says he doesn't want to use it. Like, those are things that would happen because it makes the only sense to do that, right? So,
yeah, I agree. When that was all happening, I was rolling my eyes before it all kind of played out, because I was going, oh no, they're going to do the thing where they could have just had a conversation and figured this out.
But then they do.
But the thing is, though, is this plot at least for this 3 episodes, they just decided we're going to move forward. We're just going to keep moving forward. So, you get the reveal at the end of the second episode that Soldier Boy that was killed in Nicaragua and he was reporting to Mallory.
Yeah.
And that would have been a thing maybe in other shows where they draw that out. But the next episode, they're at Mallory's house and they're confronting her about it. So,
and then you get the whole backstory of the team Payback and Crimson Countess and that whole debacle in Nicaragua. So the Russians have the Soldier Boy, and they got to go find where he is. which ties into the Frenchie and Nina side plot. Because at first I was like, the fuck is this side plot with Frenchie? Where is this going? But
Yeah, I didn't even know who that girl was, Sherry.
yeah, I didn't know either. But apparently Nina is a character from the comics. But they quickly wrap all that in. The other great moment at the end of the second episode, it's Homelander's birthday, and they're doing this birthday special, and they're rehearsing, and he wants her to sing happy birthday. And there's that part where Stan Edgar just like fucking puts him in his place. And Homelander snaps on live TV and just tells everyone, I am better than you. You should be thanking me for being here. I'm done being persecuted for my strength. And his base eats it up and his popularity goes up. And I thought that was fucking perfect. She goes, among white males in the Rust Belt, your points have gone up, and he's naked and he's getting hard in front of her as she's telling him this news. But that was a fucking fantastic flip where he could finally, and that video that they're holding over his head, he's just like, you know what? Fucking release it. I don't care anymore. They have lost all their leverage to control Homelander.
Well, the only thing I didn't get, one of the things I didn't get though, is why does he visit Butcher's house? What is that conversation?
That was an interesting conversation where he's trying to like bond with Butcher and show him that they're both kind of alike. And I'm wondering if
they're both being manipulated.
And they're done at taking orders. And I'm wondering if this is alluding to maybe Homelander and Butcher have to team up to take down Vaughn at some point. But yeah, him showing up at Butcher's house was fucking crazy. I was like, oh.
Well, I think the offer was, let's take down Vaught, and then we can have our fight.
Oh,
and then and it'll just be us standing at the end of the thing, and we can kill each other like, we can all both get naked and fight in front of a volcano. That's the Northman.
One of the things though is, as I was watching this and they were doing a good job, as I was going, it's been now 3 seasons of Butcher and Homelander coming to blows, and although it is completely unfair, they've at least written it to a point where Butcher has access to Compound V. They potentially could get a weapon that could kill.
Yeah.
Like, I think if by the end of this season there isn't a kind of a resolution to that conflict, because it's been building since the first episode of season 1, I think that'd be a miss.
Yeah, something has to come of, but he's so psychotic.
We've been waiting for them to fight.
Now, how do you think this plays out? Okay, so there's supposedly a weapon in Russia. There's a little bit of a gray area with Soldier Boy.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Is he still alive? Is he?
I think he's frozen. I think they got his body because I think we've seen shots of Jensen Ackles with a big beard. Like, I think they're going to unfreeze him like a Captain America.
Right.
And maybe he's the weapon, but I think
he's the bigger asshole.
Yeah. He's even bigger asshole than Homelander. Is there even a weapon?
If anything I've learned about this show is, because last season 2, they had, I forget the exact details, but they had figured out a resolution to taking down one of the heroes, and then it just completely went awry.
Fell apart. Yeah.
So I feel like this weapon that they're going to find, like they're going to get to this weapon, and it's not going to be what they think it is, and there's way more rungs on the ladder that we have to climb in this plot before we've really figured out anything.
There's 2 things that stick out to me about this. Gus Fring, what's his name in the show?
Oh, Stan Edgar. Yeah, the head of Vought.
He's got a lot of balls talking to Homelander like that. So he's got to have something, like, in his back pocket. He's got to have something that he could throw his dick around like that and not expect to be killed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he's got to have something. I mean, does anybody even... That'd be the obvious place to look for something that could take down Homelander.
That's a good point.
And number 2 is, I thought it was very odd that Queen Maeve disappears after the first episode.
Yeah, she hasn't had a lot to do yet. She slips Butcher the Compound V.
Did we know that I think it's supposed to be kept... I don't think we knew that Queen Maeve was working with Butcher up until that episode.
Okay.
No.
What I'm thinking is that he's keeping that under wraps, that his in... They all think that Starlight's the only in they have to Vought, but he's using her as another in.
Well, because he didn't tell them who the source was. She was the source. He also obviously...
What do you mean, what the source for what?
The source for... he was the source that led them to something. Was it Termite?
Oh, you're talking about them figuring out... them chasing Soldier Boy's living teammates from Payback.
Right. She
But they don't know that he even has the compound.
No, that's
V.
the other thing. He's keeping from them that he took the compound V and that he killed Gunpowder and that he's injured. But I love how Ryan, the kid, can smell it. He's like, your blood smells funny. What's wrong? Oh, and that fucking moment was harsh where he needs to push Ryan away. And he's like, maybe I just don't want to look at you because of
That
what you did
didn't
to my
need to
Becca.
happen. I thought that was bad writing.
Yeah, what was
oh
that?
my God. I was like, oh my God, Butcher, what are you doing?
I didn't think that needed to happen either. I felt like he's up to this point, we'd seen that he actually gives a shit about this kid, and then it's written in a way where he like just explodes in the moment.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I thought that was inconsistent.
I thought that was the most poorly written part of the entire show.
He was mad at Mallory because she didn't tell them about Soldier Boy and the weapon, and he can't trust her. And he just, I don't know if he did it purposely to push him away to keep him safe, or that he just lost his cool.
I would have been like, it would have been more appropriate for him to kneel down to the kid and say, "Listen, I need you to trust me on this. Like, I need you here. You're, blah blah blah." And then to leave that way. They didn't need. They're doing this to create some other kind of tension with the kid, and that might play out in the end game. But like, I really think that this is one of those things that happens because you need your story to happen. So it's very contrived.
It's one of those things where like they need some sort of, they can't ever have all the characters all at once in a happy place. So they have to like twist the knife on some of these characters so that they can play out things later. The only way this to me gets redeemed, and obviously there's other ways it could get redeemed and I could be completely wrong, is maybe there's a scene at the end of like the season where they cut back and he like whispers in what that kid's ear. Yeah. What's that kid's name? Ryan, that like, hey, I trust you. We need to make a show that we're not having a relationship anymore. And he that whole thing was staged. Is what I'm getting at is that
that would be great. But they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. But like he like almost treats the kid as if he's an adult and like goes with him on the side in the house and goes, "Hey, I've been taking Compound V. I need to end the relationship with you publicly, but I will always have your back. I'm going to yell at you, and you need to fucking take control of your powers and like look mad for this."
Maybe
moment.
it was planned, but
I don't think that's what they're doing. I'm just saying that's the only way to redeem
it did
that.
come out of nowhere. I mean, the kid was holding his arm, and he's very strong, and he was about to laser eye him. So you don't want to make a kid like that mad. So it was kind of strange that he would just fucking lose his shit.
The only thing about Butcher that annoys me is sometimes I just don't feel like he acts like a real human being. His mannerisms and the way I know some of that's like he's an Aussie in the way that he talks or New Zealander or wherever he's from. But sometimes I'm just like, is this how a real person would act in this situation?
I mean, he is a little bit much sometimes.
He's just a little bit over the top. He's a very over the top character.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the other side of the coin to Homelander, so they're both kind of over the top, ridiculous characters.
That's true. I mean, they're both. I mean, this is a ridiculous show, so maybe that's a moot point that I'm complaining about that. But they're both very impulsive guys that have an axe to grind. So I guess they're doing like that kind of thing, where they're kind of two sides of the coin.
Episode 3 has some more great Homelander moments, like when A-Train is leaving the stage and Homelander just goes, "I can see your girdle, you disgusting fat fuck." He's just plugging him. Like all 3 episodes, he's like, "What's that, a milkshake? Oh, you get a little punchy there. What's going on?" Just,
how about when he makes the deep eats Taylor?
Oh, no, Timothy.
His
pet octopus. That was horrifying. First of all.
Well, but prior to that, you see him fucking the girl, and he's just actually thinking about the octopus.
And he's like, wrap all your arms around me. It's just like, what?
She's like, what?
And then Homelander, it's like a dinner to welcome the deep back. First of all, he orders nothing but seafood on purpose, right? There's lobster.
See, that I don't get. Like, why? If you live in the ocean, wouldn't you eat fish?
No, I don't know. They're your buddies.
I think those are his friends, and he eats.
God! And Timothy's alive. He's like, this is a South Vietnamese delicacy or something. It's the and what the deep is like. He's begging for his life, and then as he's eating them, he goes, he's praying, and just fucking swallow. Oh my! I couldn't watch it. I was like, holy shit! Even his wife is like, eat the fucking octopus. She sends him the text. And Homelander's like, eat fucking Timothy, just exerting power. I was like, what the fuck, Homelander? Holy shit. That was great. And then the final at the American Hero TV show where he surprises Starlight by announcing to the world that they are in love. And she's fucking shocked and horrified. They also bring the Deep back. And then she's like, no, let's do it again. Let's take it again. And she fucking ends up kissing him. And you see, ties back to the flashback of her doing a way too sexy Britney Spears dance at 12 years old when she was 12. And I think her appendix was hurting. And her mom's like, just fucking suck it up. And she does the same thing then. So she's getting in deep. I do like Supersonic's turn of character where she tried to warn him. They used to date, and I kind of love how Huey is jealous. She's like, you got to get out of here. But he's like, no, I'm going to help you. Someone's got to have your back. I'm in. So now she has a little bit of help in Supersonic, but that's going to cause problems with Huey. Of course, he's going to jump to conclusions.
Maybe the weapon that actually will take out Homelander is them convincing Nadia
to pop his head,
blow his head off.
Whoa. Yeah, you could
somehow appealing to her in some way. Although she seems very loyal to Vought.
Well, yeah, she's like his daughter. She's pretty much Stan's daughter.
But maybe there's a way that because Homelander turns on Vought and turns on that guy. What's his name?
Stan Edgar.
Stan Edgar. She takes up his defense and pops his head.
Yeah, I could see that happening too.
That's a great ending right
fuck
there.
Up right there.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
That's a great fuck up right there.
Well, we learned a little bit about her powers. Like, she has to look at something to be able to pop it, as we discovered in that fight.
Yeah.
Like, she saw his hand. And that, man, there's a lot of fucking exploding parts.
The one scene that actually I had to like close my eyes for whatever reason, even though the show is violent as shit, or at least look through my fingers, is when Huey goes, break my arm.
That was one too. I was like, no. Oh my! And like, thankfully they didn't show it, but I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. What is happening here?
And then and Mother's Milk is like right here, clean break.
He's like, hold on,
it'll easily heal.
Do this. He's like, I'm here for 2 seconds. A fucking shit show already. He's like,
we forgot about a big reveal. Black Noir.
Oh, we see Black Noir's face in the flashback. And he's like,
so is that the same Black Noir?
Yeah, that's Black. He was part of the payback. And now you see why he wears that helmet, because the Sandinistas fucking burned up his face.
I think in the comic, he's the twin of Homelander.
Yeah, they changed
so I went down.
that.
I went down I went down the road of figuring out or looking up Black Noir for whatever reason too, and he is. I don't know if they're going to go this route, but he is actually just as powerful as Homelander and Edgar's contingency plan if Homelander goes
Because wasn't he like a clone of Homelander or something?
I didn't read the comic, but that's what I read.
They're identical. Yeah. They look identical.
Well, it
sounds like here he's wearing. First off, he's wearing the helmet because they didn't want people to know there was a black guy.
Right in the
Payback.
70s. Yeah.
But now he's just really damaged.
And I love how you see a young Stan Edgar and everything is numbers with him. He's like, a masked ninja pulls way higher with teens, just to explain things. And he's all about the numbers, but now his face that was disturbing too, because he's just sitting there with half his face fucking melted. I was like, holy shit.
And well, if there's anything The Boys has taught me through 2 seasons and now 3 episodes, is they do a good job of for the most part, making it somewhat unpredictable.
Yeah.
I can see kind of the train tracks, but they have the train run through all the stops so quickly that by next show, it could be in a completely different place.
But they don't leave you hanging either.
No,
right.
They answer a lot of questions. Yep. So every time that they kind of start asking more, they completely like answer a bunch of other ones.
It's well paced. It's well written. That jumper scene was also great, where he finds out Stormfront killed herself while he's trying to stop a jumper, and he's like, you know what, Ashley? Or whatever her name was, I think you should jump. And then he makes her jump, and he's like, there's no God in the sky. There's just me.
Yeah.
It's like, and I love where he's like, they fucking love me. They fucking love me. Like, he has fucking lost it. It's great. But now I also love Huey coming around to saying, I was wrong. Butcher was right. We need to do whatever it takes. We need to be as mean and fucked up as they are. And I don't know if that's a commentary on a lot of things going on in the world as well. Just that line there. And, there's the gun show scene that's kind of really weird to watch now with all the recent news going on, right? With gunpowder.
A lesser show might have edited that out.
Right? They didn't. The show fucking has got balls. Like, they are hitting all this topical shit, and it does work. The Kumiko storyline when Frenchie, I don't know what's going on there exactly.
Yeah, that's weird.
She wants to learn to play the piano.
Well, if anything, here's another criticism I might have of the show. If anything, they almost have too many storylines.
There's a
running
lot
around.
going. Yeah, there's a lot
like
of characters.
The main story, but then there's like 6 subplots going on. Because let's lay it out. You have the boys trying to get a weapon to take out Homelander.
Yeah.
You have the Deep joining back in. You have A-Train trying to figure out who he is. You have Kamiko and Frenchie. You have Kamiko trying to like have her normal life.
Yeah.
You have Frenchie in with the Russians.
Yeah, getting pulled back
Mother's
in.
Milk.
Yeah.
You have Mother's Milk pulled in because the Soldier Boy killed his family. You have Huey dealing with Nadia.
Yeah.
You have Nadia and Edgar or whatever. You have Starlight in there infiltrating the boys and the Vought and trying to like stay out of trouble. And then you have Supersonic and her relationship. So
Right.
you have like I probably named like 8 or 9
Yes.
things there. So if anything, the show for me, like I still love it. I still think it's great. But there are times where it's like it's so many subplots that like, although the show is fast moving in some sense, there's also parts where I'm like, okay, you're cutting back to a subplot that I like don't really care about right now.
Yeah.
Like whenever they cut to the Deep, or the Deep is funny, but whenever they cut to A-Train or, as you guys mentioned, Kamiko and trying to get like a normal life and playing the piano, it's just like, couldn't this be spent somewhere else?
Yeah, they'd be better served by just having all of the characters together doing something,
right?
Than cutting to these other individual stories. But I gotta say, even with that big issue, the fact that it's not decompressed and it's like it's always kind of moving along. Like, yes, there are many times I'm like, I don't care about this. But then it's over because we'll get to something else really quick.
It moves.
You're absolutely right.
It moves quickly.
They jump to something I don't care about particularly, but they move through that so fast. That, like, I feel like the show is moving a million miles an hour, but I'm in for it. Like I forgot to even mention the kid and Mallory.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Mallory and the kid, and they're on the move. And
there's like the big team storylines with the Vought and the boys. But then literally every character has their own
something
story
going on.
You don't need to do all that, guys. You can keep it simple.
You got Stan Edgar trying to sell
working too hard.
his shit to the military, and there's a lot of things.
The writers are working so hard on this show.
But you get great moments. Like the Deep stuff was hilarious. His movie, his Lifetime movie called Not Without My Dolphin, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it's a good show. I give it credit for them spinning 20 plates at one time. They do a good enough job where I'm like, this is just a minor criticism that they're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching the new Stranger Things.
I was just gonna bring that up because it does the same thing,
but it doesn't do it as well.
Not as
Nowhere
well.
near.
Everybody is
they spin their wheels a lot.
There's a lot of wheel spinning. There's 4 plots. They're not even subplots. There's 4 full plots going on at the same time. Everybody's split up into teams, and it gets kind of a little much.
I don't know if that's always a good way to do things.
Because
with these teams,
I like it, but then you build to that moment where they all come together at the end of the season, and it's more.
I know,
worthwhile.
but it's so telegraphed.
It is.
I feel like that's been more of the trend now with these team shows, where it's like we got to write every character's got to get almost equal attention, and I don't think that's. I think, as you said, Ruggs, I don't think that's necessary all the time.
I think that there's sometimes you have people take the lead, and that's what makes that season different.
And I think inevitably you can't make every character as interesting as the other ones. Like at some point, there's some characters that are just background characters, and you're right, maybe they take the lead in another season.
The thing is, when you have somebody like Homelander, it's so hard because so far, every time it goes to Homelander, that's the best shit.
You're riveted by that. That's what you want to see.
But his stares, the ringing in his ears, his fucking psychotic look. Oh, it's so good. You just want him to snap. You can't wait to see what the fuck he does next.
You're right. Whenever it's him or any plot where it's like they got to kill him, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
That's what it's all the good shit.
Like I'm down for Soldier Boy just because I'm like, it still leads to Homelander.
Right.
Yeah, I think the great thing about it as well is that you do feel uncomfortable and afraid of Homelander.
Yeah.
You're really like, this motherfucker can really do some shit. And he's fucking crazy. And he might just end everybody. for the fucking fun of it, like just so he can.
He tells Starlight it's in that much, and he's like, go ahead, release the tape. He's like, what am I gonna do? I'll take out the nerve centers first, then maybe I'll just wipe out all of New York, and then maybe New Jersey. I don't know. Test me. Go ahead. You're like, oh, fucking hell. He's not kidding.
Well, they've done a good job where they put Starlight there, right? So
Yeah.
Starlight's a character we all like. We all like her and with Huey, and she's like the normal one, yet she's got to fucking live with this guy. And now he's, the third episode ends, and it ends on a cliffhanger where he's forcing himself on her publicly.
Yeah, pretty
now.
much. Hashtag homelight. Yeah. There's a hashtag for everything. And now she has to pretend to be in love with him in public.
And she's got to be around the guy that mouth raped her.
I know. That's like when she wanted to bring the deep back. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? And no, he's in. Wow. And so there were so many times in this 3 episodes where I'm like, this is what the person should realistically say to this person. And then they fucking say it. Like, I've never had a show where that happens all the time. And I really appreciate it. Like when Mother's Milk is talking to his ex-wife, he's like, look, the ticks are back. The shakes are back. I tried to be good. I don't know what to do. I'm like, you got to tell him to go back. She fucking tells him to go back. And then when Starlight calls Huey and she's like, I need to leave. And I'm like, you got to tell her to stay. And he tells her, he's like, I need you to stay. I was like, fuck. That's great. It's so great. The writing is really good. Really enjoyed this show coming back. I can't wait.
Yeah. When they do something that's not on that level, it sticks out. So sometimes when they do have that, that convenient writing, it does stick out because the rest of it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're watching a CW show, all you have is the bad writing.
Yes.
Or something.
All you have is bad. Yeah, where they should all just have a conversation, but they
never do. Yes,
they never do, and they have all this tension with one another.
They do that on Stranger Things so much. I'm just like, just tell the other person this happened, and they don't. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I also love how that lady Ashley, the PR lady, her assistant is also Ashley. Because I'm other Ashley. I don't know why I thought that's funny. That was hilarious. But it's great to see them all back together.
It's a fun show or a good show when I watch it and I go, okay, I do want to watch that next episode now.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I sit through the shows you guys make me watch and I go, fuck, I don't want to watch any of this. And that ends. Then one episode ends. And I'm like, I don't want to watch that next episode, but I have to.
No, man, this show several oh shit moments every episode. And
that's the guy going up the guy's urethra and exploding through his
opening.
dick.
I don't know how you're going to top that one.
Yeah, I don't know how you're ever going to top that in terms of being fucking weird.
I mean, it's just as jarring as like the very first episode when A-Train runs through his girlfriend and you're like, oh.
Now, would they ever go do a vag joke like that?
I mean, they had the girl fucking the guy to death, but it's different.
The girl, didn't she have like claws come out of her vag in the first one?
Pop Claw was A-Train.
She orgasmed the guy. She was sitting on the guy's face and orgasmed so hard that she crushed his head.
And then that other guy, there's A-Train. A-Train's like PR dude. He makes a joke about him having no dick. Wasn't that because she froze? Couldn't he freeze? Or he was fucking this girl and the dick froze and it broke off or something? I forget why he doesn't have a dick.
He doesn't have a dick?
There was something like that. He says that.
He's dickless?
He's dickless. But
yeah,
I love that he's trying to rebrand
and he does
connect with his African roots, and he doesn't really understand anything that he's talking about.
So shitty. He's got a shitty movie about.
That presentation was really awkward.
The movie about him going back to Africa, and then she's like, "Is that a video game about the slave trade?" Yes, that's exactly what it was. And he's wearing that ridiculous outfit. Everybody like that shit is corny as shit. His brother wants him to work the streets or something. I didn't understand that part. He showed him that video of some.
Well, no, he said he was basically first he wants him just to be his brother again and like work at the school.
Yeah,
but then he was trying to say that I'm aware of what's going on, so that's why he showed him. Okay, you really care about what's going on. This is what's going on, and then A-Train because A-Train's a little bitch boy.
Yeah, he's not gonna do.
He's like, oh, I don't really want to do that.
He's like, everybody loves the A-Train. I'm not going to jeopardize that.
Yeah.
It's great. Homelander just giving him fat jokes is fucking hilarious.
Especially because that actor's really not fat. So
no, right. He's not. He's just like not even a little bit pudgy, but the Homelander.
Well, he's got a little padding on his suit.
What before we wrap this up, what do you want to see out of the like? What conflicts do you want to see? Any specific fights, or is there anything in particular you want to see that would really please you? I'll start. I mean, I want to see Homelander versus Butcher at some point with powers. I think we also might get a Soldier Boy versus Homelander, which would be kind of fun because they're both kind of the same guy.
There's going to be some more major character death, I would like to think. Somebody's not making it.
At some point, you would love to see if Starlight could get like a little comeuppance on Homelander, or perhaps kill the Deep.
Or the Deep, yes. There's that. The Butcher and Homelander with powers showdown. Also, I kind of want to see them have to join forces, like in some situation. That would be interesting.
What happens with the kid, do you think?
Oh, does the kid come into play? Does Homelander find the kid?
The kid protects them. The kid kills Homelander.
Ooh, what if the kid kills his own father? I don't know how many more seasons they're going to make. You can't kill Homelander yet.
I hope they do.
But you kind of want them to.
I want them to, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to either injure him to a point where he becomes like inert for a while. Yeah. Or you got to kill him.
Yeah, because he's such a strong force now on the show that you can't. At some point, you got to shit or get off the pot with the guy.
Yeah.
What if they don't kill him and they make him good? Like they like mind wipe him or something?
What if they could turn his whole personality?
Like what if the girl tries to explode his head but she fails, but it does so much brain damage to him that he forgets who he is and everything?
Or they Superman him where in the comics where he like loses his powers and has to like recharge, and then they're like finding other super Homelander guys.
Oh, maybe he learns what it's like to be without powers and to be just a normal person, and that changes him or something.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Right.
They did. I remember the cartoon rugs, Diabolical. There was a little tie-in with that adoption agency, Red River.
Yeah, that was from the Diabolical.
Yeah, that's the place where parents who gave their kids Compound V and weren't happy with the powers they got, they just fucking dropped them off here. They're like, we don't want this.
Or
kid
the babies
anymore.
with too much. I think the idea with Compound V that you're not supposed to get the powers that early, but then they manifested early and they were too young to control their powers. So parents are like, fuck, I'm not dealing with this. And they gave him back to Vought.
It's like when you adopt a dog and it shits all over the house.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't sign up for this.
Hey,
take this dog back.
I wanted a dog that doesn't shit in my house.
But man, the world building again is so good. Like this world is so well fleshed out. I mean, sometimes it's a little much with all the Vought shit, but makes sense.
If they could just do a show like this without having to rely on just gore all the time.
Yeah, they do kind of rely on the shock and awe factor of things.
It's fine, but you know.
If anything, I like the show, but if anything, it made me go, man, I can't wait till Invincible comes back too.
Yeah, this and Invincible are just two.
Yeah, they're jockeying for who can be more gross.
Who can be more fucked up. And, if the boys can win in live action, because you can do anything on the cartoon, right? But,
well, Garth Ennis is a pretty fucked up dude, so.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Well, how long did the boys comic run go?
I'm going to guess and say 3 years, right?
Oh, 72 issues.
72
2006
issues.
to 2012.
Yeah. Oh, so they went 6 years. I want to read this and Invincible comics, but I'm having fun.
Invincible's is really
that's like
deep.
100. That's like
Isn't Invincible still going?
No.
But I think there's like 150 episodes or issues of Invincible. There's a lot more Invincible, right?
144, so it's double.
144. Oh, wow. It's double. The Boys 72 is a lot.
to 2018. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't want to read them because I'm so immersed in both shows.
Right.
I'm going, I don't want to be like you and then spoil everything for myself.
No, I'll read them later after the shows are done. Maybe I will go read them.
Well, you were doing the Walking Dead thing where you were reading it.
Yeah, but I was already. No, the show got me to read the comic, right? And so then I was stuck reading the comic and watching the show at the same time.
Yeah.
This time I've not made that mistake. If anything, I will wait until because I'm enjoying what they're giving the TV versions of both things, and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. All right, yeah. So now every Friday, this episode comes out. 5 more episodes left. I think there's 8 total.
What would you have rated the 3 episodes?
Oh fuck! This is
not individually, just as a collective.
As a collective, it's like an 8.5 for me. Very good. I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I'd say 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go 7.5, 8, somewhere around
it's
there.
fucking good. It's fucking good. It's The Boys is back. Can't
the
wait.
boys are back in town. Want to give the listener, we gave them an update last week, but I think it's good to update them again on. We're not reviewing these shows weekly, so what we have on deck for next week.
We will catch up with The Boys when it ends.
So what's next week? Then?
Next week, we have Miss Marvel premiere. Another new
There
show
you go.
starting while The Boys is on, while Obi-Wan is on, while
Stranger
all
Things.
this other shit. Stranger Things is all out, and it's going to take a break until July 1st to its last 2 movie-length episodes. But then Umbrella Academy Season 3 also comes out in a couple of weeks.
Jesus Christ.
There's a lot. Let's find out what the listeners thought about The Boys. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Just a couple of comments about The Boys from our listeners. Blake Braden says, episode 1, minutes 9 to 13. No. It's basically all he said. Nope. Ethan Cranford from Australia, our buddy Ethan, says, I adore the show. It strikes a balance between completely ridiculous and a thought-provoking representation of the world we live in, like no other show on television. Absolutely agree. And then Seth Morgan says, I watched the first maybe 20 minutes this morning before work while eating a bowl of cereal. I literally lost my appetite. I really don't need to see any of that. Now I'm wondering if I can watch the rest of it. And I'm not a wimp. I can watch violence, but holy crap, never thought I'd see. I can't even think about that. So it disturbed him sufficiently.
I'm sure there's a segment of the audience that saw that and went,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't. This is the line. I can't deal with that.
Imagine watching that with your family.
You didn't know what you were getting into. And
I was at my mom's house this weekend, and I was catching up on The Boys,
Yeah.
and literally she'd walk by the TV, and I'd pause it, because I saw that scene happen already. I was going, I can't even risk something like this happening again.
What is happening here? Are you watching porn? Oh, no. What is this?
It's
how do you explain
diabolical porn.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Just get in there.
Holy shit.
Get to the prostate.
It's amazing.
I mean, when he's like, even when he's like in there stroking it, I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like, what
is going on?
What are you doing?
What the fuck is going on right now?
Oh, God. Okay, let's just finish up with some What Are We Watching? Anthony, what are you watching? Anything?
Besides NBA playoffs, I've been watching that. I've been watching this guy on YouTube called Khalid Ataf, who works in the Chicago South Side at a gas station and trolls these very hard people.
Oh, yeah?
That's kind of funny.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, like call them like these gangsters like girl names and stuff, and they get all pissed off.
Wow.
So that's fun.
That dude's got balls.
But what's more relevant to all of us is I am trying to keep track with Obi-Wan, so I watched the 3rd episode.
You did, Ruggs. Did you watch episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I did indeed.
Okay, well, let's discuss a little bit. Again,
Just a quick discussion. Yeah.
We will catch up at the end of the season, but look.
Spoiler alert.
Holy shit. I mean, we got our Darth Vader. I've been waiting for Vader.
Yeah.
They showed us Vader, but it was kind of in a weird, it still left me a little, like, disappointed.
Yeah.
You know? What did you guys say? It was great seeing Vader. He's badass. You see him just killing motherfuckers with the foot walking down the street. Great.
Yeah.
But then the confrontation between him and Obi-Wan left a lot to be desired. But I kind of see in the story why this happened.
It's, as I said, it's just when they write stuff that needs to happen so they can have a big fight later. So this is like they didn't want to blow their load on this episode, but they wanted to get Vader in there, you know, to kind of like get everybody excited about Darth Vader. But yeah, they're going to have like the big fight where like Obi-Wan is like, you know, reclaimed his power and is ready to fuck up some shit.
I mean, in his defense, he was stalling for time, right? And on top of that, he doesn't have he's a rusty Jedi. He knows he can't fight, and he's surprised that Anakin is alive. This is presumably the first time he's put eyes on Anakin since the end of Revenge of the Sith. So this is a big moment, and he's freaked out. But
yeah, I just feel like it was
It was kind of weird, though.
It was just, I feel like it was very anticlimactic in how they did it.
Yeah.
And then like Darth Vader, like he pushes him through the fire and puts it out with the Force. And then the fire blazes up again and he just like stands there and does nothing.
Well, look, first of all, him burning Obi-Wan was kind of fucking good retribution. I was like, oh shit, they're going there. He wants to fucking burn him like on Mustafar.
You notice that his hair doesn't catch fire at all?
No, he was
like that's the
barely
first
burned.
thing that would,
I don't know what happened.
That's the first thing that would be gone. Like he would be bald
But I
immediately.
got the sense that Vader is just toying with Obi-Wan at this point. Like he didn't want to catch him. Anthony, what'd you think of the whole Vader bit?
The Vader bit, I will say that the show did a good job. It was mixed bag, mostly good. I'd say the show did a really good job for me as a non-Star Wars fan, making Vader kind of cool and menacing. Because you see him get constructed. You see him walking across a town and just force breaking people's necks, like just being a really horrible human being. And it's like that for me was like, oh, okay, like this is why people would be scared of him, because he's just walking through town like a fucking badass, like a fucking psychopath looking for this guy and killing anybody that's just like who he feels like killing.
Yep.
So like in that sense, I think they did a really good job of making that character menacing again. But the way they edited that scene where he's chasing Obi-Wan was freaking weird.
Yeah.
It would be like he'd see him and then Obi-Wan would like run around a hill.
Yes.
And then like
gone.
And then like Vader's like not there, but then he pops up. It was just like,
yeah, it was weird.
Chase scenes are not their forte.
No.
So far.
They need to stop doing
They need to just stop doing chase scenes.
I will agree.
But I will say overall, I think the show is better than Boba Fett.
Okay.
I think the show actually has a tone and a plot that like I can kind of like. The tone is not super jokey. Like it's a little bit more on the serious side, and the plot is something I can follow where it's like they're hunting Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's trying to get away. Like it's very easy to follow, whereas Boba Fett's plot was like, what? Like keep cutting back to the past.
Yeah.
So I'll give it credit. Like it's better than Boba
It's
Fett,
straightforward.
and it doesn't make me hate watch it. And I'm sure the
Right.
Star Wars fans were loving seeing Vader back.
I was confused about how Reva got ahead of
Okay,
Leia.
can we just talk about this? They have problems
that was
with
weird.
locations. None of that shit made sense. Okay, so they go into the tunnel. Indira Varma and Leia run into this tunnel. They're running. Tunnel has two ends, presumably. They're running through the tunnel, and then Reva finds the tunnel later. She goes in the tunnel, and then Indira Varma tells Leia, you go on ahead, meet the pilot. I'm going to go back and help Obi-Wan. So not only does she not cross paths with Reva going back out of the fucking tunnel,
That's what you thought was going to happen. Is they were going to fight there, Reva and
Reva
Dira Varma.
ends up ahead of fucking Leia in the tunnel somehow. How did this happen?
And Dira Varma doesn't cross paths and somehow ends
It's
up
up somewhere else on the mountain.
way far
Yeah.
away on that hill,
The fuck she
being
get
able
there?
to help out Obi-Wan.
How did she fucking get there?
Yeah,
None of that made sense.
That's terrible.
I was like, what is happening?
It was terrible
It
storytelling.
was so bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
That really took me out of it. I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening? But look,
Yeah, you build up. You have all that like goodwill where you're rebuilding Vader, and you see him, and he's doing shitty things to people, and you're like, this is a fucking villain. This is like This is actually an iconic villain being an iconic villain,
Yeah.
and then you just completely screw right away all these stupid chase scenes where it's like,
Like, and
unfathomable.
these things are simple things to do.
yes, it's called continuity.
It's not like they're doing some shit that's like, oh, we need to fucking, reinvent the wheel on how to do the camera work on this. It's just like, no, it's like use common sense. Now, maybe they had to edit something out or whatever. Maybe they reshot
there's
it.
tunnels that they split off, but they never
But-
established that.
They're not going to explain it. They're moving on to the next thing.
I did love how when Vader was fighting Obi-Wan with the lightsaber, did you notice he's using one hand, the lightsaber, and Obi-Wan has to use both hands. So I was like, he's just fucking toying with him. Like, he doesn't even want to get him. He wants to enjoy it. He wants him to suffer. That's the kind of feeling I got. But the show's halfway over now. And it is, at least, I didn't think it'd be another like lone wolf and cub thing. Like you have Mando and Grogu, and now you got Obi-Wan and Leia. I did not think that's what the show was going to be about, really.
So Vader still has no idea that Leia's his daughter at this point.
I don't think
No.
so.
I don't think so. One comment though on Vader. So if this is what we're getting of Vader and the kind of the tone we're getting with Vader and this look, Did they really just hire Hayden Christensen for his eyes and a back to
I think they did. I think that's him in the costume also. I just think he's like,
Can't be.
Listen, though, hold on, listen, because
Why do you think
if
that?
you are Hayden Christensen, I would and they're like, you get to put the Vader suit on. Yeah, they're not going to see your face, but you get to be Darth Vader.
You could resurrect his career by being in the public eye.
Why wouldn't you jump at that? I'd be like, fuck yeah, I don't care. Let me be Vader. James Earl Jones back as the voice. I thought that was fucking great.
Did they really hire Hayden Christensen
Just to be
put
in
on
the suit and
the suit?
That was his face for a second.
Is he basically Scott Adkins, where he just plays other characters and hides his face?
I would take that role if I could be Vader. Despite, you see him for like a brief second. You see his body cut, and he's
You wouldn't
covered.
even know that was Hayden
No,
Christensen.
it doesn't have to be him. It could be anybody. He did see him in the vision, so you saw him in the robe briefly. When Obi-Wan's having these visions and seeing him places.
I mean, they have 3 more episodes.
They have 3 more episodes.
He could definitely show up and actually have his face and do things.
I mean, I think his face will show up in those kind of ways where Obi-Wan just kind of hallucinates or he sees it or something. I don't.
Do you guys think it's better than Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So far, it is. Yes.
Well, there's a lot of like, I don't know if you've been on the interwebs and looked at the reactions. There's people going crazy about Reva,
right,
and saying terrible things.
People being
and
racist.
I don't think it's warranted at all.
No.
Like, it's like, yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, she's I think there's more than meets the eye.
I like her character.
I think there's, as I said, there's a little twist to this character. Hopefully that explains or that puts it into perspective. And if there isn't, that's fine too. Like, she's just an ambitious Jedi. Her acting, it's questionable. So I could understand sometimes how it just doesn't ring. It doesn't like ring a certain way. Yeah. But I don't think it's warranting any kind of crazy backlash like they're doing.
No, that's uncalled for.
Then there are the Star Wars loyalists that are like nitpicking it to death, and I understand that you can do that. There are just definitely a lot to nitpick. But do you want to have a show or not?
Right.
Like, it's like at this point, like, this is the show. If it entertains and Obi-Wan ends up redeeming himself, I think it's fine. If he ends up being a biatch, then I can understand. Because like, the argument is that like all of these newer shows are taking the classic characters and just nerfing them,
right,
and making them like seem weak and like unnecessary. Like, what they did with Luke in
Last Jedi.
Yeah, like kind of just like destroying everything that you've built and kind of like turning it another subverting expectations or whatever.
But in this point of the story, Obi-Wan's been out of the game for a while. He's rusty. He's trying to.
Yeah, but why is he so afraid?
Why is he so afraid of Anakin? Is a good point. Ewan McGregor's still great, doing a great job.
Like, imagine like what if Obi-Wan was like brought to life by the fact that Anakin's still alive? He still can save him.
Yeah.
Instead of being afraid of him.
That's a good point.
What if he was like the Obi-Wan that was like, no, I could, now that I know that he's alive, I'm going to try and bring my friend back.
Yeah, I got another shot at this.
I
mean, there's a nice moment with him and Leia where he calls her Leia in front of them and he talks about Padme and stuff. And you think about Leia and Padme, and there's a lot of parallels there.
I like when the stormtrooper falls and he's sliced in half. Oh my god,
he gets. Oh, how about that laser gate? Did you really need to shoot it off? You could have just fucking walked around the thing. There was just nothing on the side. I was like, what are you doing? Just walk around the lasers. You don't. This is not a barrier.
But I agree. I liked
him getting sliced. That was
sliced.
Yeah, that was
just adds to the like. This is not a jokey. I mean, it is Star Wars, but it's like. The tone, it just helps the tone overall.
It was surprisingly graphic for a Star Wars show. I was not expecting that, but when those stormtroopers are getting shot, are they killed? Is they killing them or are they just stunned? Like
they're shot.
They're dead, but they're wearing armor. The armor does nothing, of course.
Yeah, the stormtroopers are the worst, the worst cannon fodder in the world.
They can't find a Jedi if it was sitting right in front of them, which it was. Fucking Well, anyways, it's good. It's good. Hopefully, they can pick it up. There's only 3 episodes left, so they got a lot. They got a lot of things to do in a short amount of time. Ruggs, you watch anything else?
I did. I watched some of Ricky Gervais's stand-up.
Oh, how was that?
It was fine.
Okay.
And then I watched some of Norm Macdonald's last stand-up special.
I really want to see that.
Don't.
No? No.
It's basically just him talking into a microphone, like he's doing a podcast.
Oh.
He's just going over his act and recording it to see. And then I guess Netflix thought it would be a great idea to put it out.
There's an audience in front of him?
No, he's just at his computer like he's doing a Zoom call.
That sounds awful.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm like, this is really not something you should put out.
They're trying to capitalize on some leftover Norm Macdonald shit there.
Yeah, but you need.
It would be almost
interaction.
better to have like comics do his last material in front of other people just to see how if they could sell it. They're like, all right, I'm going to do Norm stuff, but only Norm could make it work. So let's see if I can try
only
it.
Norm can do that delivery.
Norm is known for like dying on stage and not giving a fuck and just keeping on going.
Yeah, that's great.
He doesn't care about. He's doing the jokes for him.
Yeah.
He's not doing it for the audience.
Well, speaking of Norm Macdonald, I watched the Orville New Horizons. It has come back on Hulu. Ruggs, you remember the Orville?
Yeah, it's like a Star Trek parody.
Yeah, it was Seth MacFarlane's network. It was, the first two seasons are like a half-hour Star Trek parody. It's Seth MacFarlane's own version of Star Trek, but with a lot of jokes. Almost, it's a comedy, right?
Right.
This show, The New Horizons, is very weird. It's come back. It's an hour-long episode. And I think this is now the show Seth MacFarlane actually wanted to make without the network interfering. It's an hour-long, like, space drama. There's no jokes in this first episode. There's no comedy. It's not a comedy anymore. It takes on, like, a tough topic. And it picks up right where the storyline left off, but it's kind of a different show. It wasn't bad.
How do you shift it from being a comedy to not being a comedy?
I don't know. They just, they pick up on, the storyline with the Kalon, with the robot, Isaac. And it deals with the heavy topic of.
So you've watched all of these?
I've watched the first two seasons of the Orville, and I actually thought it found its footing a little bit better second season. Like, it moved away from being a Star Trek ripoff into being its own thing. And meanwhile, Star Trek Strange New Worlds is out. It's kind of doing the same thing. This show is now doing the same thing. But it was jarring that there was absolutely no jokes. He wants to make a space ship Star Trek drama show, and that's what this is now. But it was still kind of compelling. It was very good. It brings up a lot of thought-provoking questions. But yeah, it's just weird. It's a drama. It's a drama now, right?
Okay.
It's even called, it's like not season 3. If you look at the listing on Hulu, it says Orville season 1, Orville season 2, and then it says Orville New Horizons. It doesn't even say season 3. Yeah, I don't know. I would check it out. A lot of people didn't like the Seth MacFarlane show. I like some of his stuff. And
I didn't dislike it. Yeah. It just was like, I found that it always looked like a joke.
Right.
Like all of the makeup looked like a joke. I mean, it was very, very well done, but it had a sense of humor to it. They weren't trying to make aliens that look like, oh, you can believe this is an alien. It was kind of like, oh, look, it's an obvious costume.
They have a lot more money in this season, and it shows. There's like space battles and spaceship battles, and it looks pretty good. So clearly they got a bigger budget, and Hulu is letting him do whatever he wants. He doesn't, it's kind of interesting. So I'm gonna keep following that, see where it goes. But I was just like, there was zero jokes in this. This is the same show. Weird. Okay. Anyways, that's it for what are we watching out this week? I said everybody watch Miss Marvel.
I'm Miss Marvel.
I'm Miss Marvel. My namesake season
premiere. What about
premiere
Jurassic World Dominion?
And Jurassic World Dominion out this Friday.
Are we doing both?
I think we should do both. Only because we've done the other Jurassic movies.
Okay.
We'll do beholden both. For Jurassic World Dominion.
Dinosaurs, very popular.
Everybody loves dinosaurs. It can't be worse than the last movie. So that's what we'll be reviewing next week. Or can it? Meanwhile, Top Gun Maverick just killing it at the fucking box office. Have you seen these numbers?
I have.
I gotta go see it. Everyone's saying it's great.
Over Memorial Day weekend, it made $156 million. The biggest Tom Cruise opening movie ever. The biggest Memorial Day opening. The second week, You know how we talked about most movies drop like 60, 70%? 32% drop. It made another $86 million.
Wow.
Almost at 300 million domestic, 548 worldwide.
Worldwide.
shit.
That's amazing. That's amazing. This is like a huge movie for the Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise going out on top.
I'm going to try to get to see this movie at some point, and then if we all go see it, we'll do a quick review.
Do you think that the public at large has the Tom Cruise fever? Like the few of us in the know that are like, realize that this dude is just fucking, he's not letting up at all. Like he's still going for it every movie.
Do you think it's that? Or do you think it's that it's Top Gun?
I think it's
both?
I think it's a little bit of nostalgia. It's a lot of nostalgia. And then just maybe it's
because when that Mummy movie came out, everybody was like, Tom Cruise, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, motherfucker. And then Tom Cruise like, I'm going to stay in my lane, but I'm going to fucking be going 100 million miles an hour in this lane. And people are like, oh shit.
He
does have the need for speed.
I would equate it to three things. I think there is Tom Cruise, like Tom Cruise is still kind of beloved, even though he's weird as shit. Everyone likes him as the weird uncle that does his own stunts.
Yeah.
You have Top Gun, which is an iconic 80s film that still, people still consider one of their favorite films to this day. And you have the buzz that this, before this even came out, there was tons of buzz that this is a good movie. So you had everyone going, oh, Tom Cruise is doing Top Gun again, and even the reviewers think it's good.
They said that this got a lot of like the Gen X 40-year-old crowd back into the theaters, and the fact that it's not a superhero movie was something different that got people back. I think
it's the buzz that it actually was good,
and it's an actually good movie with good action. But what I've read, it seems like the main metaphor of the movie is that it's really about Tom Cruise being like this big action star. Like it's almost like really meta, and it's mostly about him and who he is in real life. I don't know. I heard of the 40X of this is also lots of fun to watch in 40X. You're going to be fucking flying around.
At some point, maybe we'll review it. Maybe when we find time, if we have an off week, or maybe when it comes out on.
Comes
out on TV.
I really want to watch it. The more I hear about it,
I would love to go to the movies.
We're gonna go this week.
Can I do that?
We're going, but we're seeing a different movie.
Yeah, we're not seeing Top Gun.
Maybe I'll try and see both of them in the same day.
I might try to check it, squeeze in both movies because like people just keep talking about it.
I mean, were you guys Top Gun guys? I know I brought this up before, but
I've seen it once or twiise.
I need to rewatch it.
So he's a no.
Yeah,
he wasn't really a Top Gun guy. Imran, I can't see you being a Top
I
Gun
knew
guy.
of it. I knew of it. All the catchphrases and what was in it and what it meant. But I wasn't like big into it. I love Tony Scott, but I think I'm going to rewatch it before I watch it.
I think I saw it in the presence of a woman, and I was paying attention to the woman more than the movie.
Dun, 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 dun,
I got the need. Highway to the. So 80s.
Take my breath away.
But yeah, that's another great one. It has everything. It's got all that. What was the girl in there? What's her name? Was that Kelly McGillis?
Kelly McGillis, they had absolutely no chemistry whatsoever.
Have you seen the picture where it's him and her in Top Gun, and then him and her now, and he hasn't aged, and she don't look so great. That's all I'm gonna say.
She's
but
old.
Fucking Tom Cruise doesn't age, man. It's the
Xenu.
It's the Xenu pact.
He's getting something pumped through him.
Because he does not look that much older than he did in the fucking. I don't know how
he's getting like stem cells thrown in there.
He regenerates his body every 12 months.
Like his telomeres elongated. Look that up, motherfucker.
I bet he's got sharp teeth like a vampire in real life.
Yeah.
One last question before we end.
Yeah.
Just a Tom Cruise question.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done for Tom Cruise, where does he rank amongst all the action heroes of all time?
I mean,
he's top 10.
The fact that he's had this staying power for this long, like I think I don't know how Mission Impossible was in that 90s.
Yeah, 99
right?
I think was the first one.
Yeah.
And
96, somewhere around there.
That was like his word. He's like, he planted the flag. I'm an action dude.
Yeah.
And he's been like Jack Reacher. He's been a couple of other things that were heavy action. I mean, didn't he do like Night and Day?
Edge of Tomorrow is fucking great. He's great.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Collateral is really good.
Right.
I think he squeezes into the top 10 somewhere. I think
squeezes in. I think he's in there.
He's in there. I think
he's got to be like, definitely top 10.
What's crazy about his career is like he had this very serious career for the most part, like doing A Few Good Men, Jerry Maguire, Eyes Wide Shut, Rain Man. Yeah. But like this back half, which you're talking about, Ruggs, he just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a shit ton of action now. I'm just going to do big budget action movies that revolve around me.
And I think it's because he's like, I want to hang outside of the Burj Khalifa. I want to learn how to fly a helicopter. I want to jump out of a plane at a high altitude fucking drop.
Perhaps.
I'm going to do these things. You're going to make a movie around it, and I will pay for it. Because he can kind of do whatever he wants.
Because anybody could just do dramas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't he trying to make a movie in space? I don't think that happened. But I thought he was going to do an action movie in space or something and actually go to space.
What a pivot on that guy, because he was doing some serious movies.
James Cameron and then fucking Tom Cruise worked on a movie together.
Oh, shit.
The two biggest egos to ever just become one.
James Cameron would come up with the most fucking crazy shit, and Tom would just be like, I'll do it.
No, he's like, hey, listen, you want to do a movie in space?
Sure.
He's like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
I'm there.
I'm creating a spaceship now.
When do we go? I need to meet Xenu anyways. I'm going to meet him out at the fucking star.
I'm like trying to think of like an equivalent right now of someone that's like young, doing a ton of acting that's awesome, but then just the back half of their career they go, I'm just doing straight action.
Well, I would put Keanu in that maybe top 10.
No, I'm saying like right now.
Oh,
like who's the young guy?
Who would be
like it'd be like a Timothy Chalamet, where he's like doing a bunch of like serious roles, and then the back half of his career he becomes an action star.
He's just like fuck it. Yeah, I don't know who else could pull that off. Chris Pratt, not really. He never did serious.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's doing. Just that's his lane right now. He does big blockbuster movies.
Yeah, but nothing that has to be too demanding.
No, he gets
he doesn't
himself.
want to learn karate or anything.
It's all the same shit. Where
he's just gonna hit somebody with a big haymaker every once in a while.
Tom will jump at the chance to do new shit and do crazy shit. He's crazy.
Well, and Tom can always. In his back pocket, you're like, oh, but he's actually a really good actor, too, if he wants to turn it on.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to do... I mean, he's acting well enough, but as you mentioned, Imran, he's just going, I want to do fun stuff.
Yes, these are the things I want to do before I die, and you're going to film it. And then just make up a story around it. It's fine.
Yeah. It's an interesting career to look at.
I'm like trying to think of everybody in the Fast and the Furious films are all old now. Vin Diesel's in his 50s. So there's really nobody that's kind of young. That's like a up and comer. Like even fucking John Cena is
he's old,
getting
he's in his
up
mid-40s.
Yeah.
Well, you would have thought Matt Damon would have went after doing the Bourne movies, but then he kind of that was it.
Well, the thing is, a lot of that. I think that's why Tom Cruise is so interesting, because you see a lot of the actors these days, for the most part, outside of The Rock or your Vin Diesels, a lot of actors want to express their range and do a shit ton of all sorts of different things.
Right.
Like they want to do dramas, they want to do superhero movies, but then they also want to do, they want to do express their range in everything. Whereas Tom Cruise is like, yeah, I've done all that. I just want to jump out of planes.
Well, and that's the thing. It puts him, he's paid his dues, he's done his work, he's got tons of money to where he could pay for the movie himself, so he's put himself in the perfect situation. I don't know if anybody can replicate that.
He's just doing just enough to be relevant,
right?
Just to still be Tom Cruise, and that's it. He still, his name is like Will Smith's kind of was trying to do that, just do a movie every couple years to stay relevant, and but Tom Cruise has got his own franchise here, so
I mean, I think his name still sells, which is kind of amazing at this point, where he's almost 60.
And especially,
have you seen Minority Report, Anthony?
I have not. No.
Oh, that's really good. That's a great movie.
That was another one of his good action films.
Yeah.
Check that one out.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you look at all his contemporaries from the 80s, and they're all either not making movies or making straight to DVD stuff.
Yeah, or they're washed up a little bit,
or super washed. So
he made it somehow. Had a second, third, fourth career.
If Patrick Swayze was alive, right now,
he'd be giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, Roadhouse 11.
There would be 12 Roadhouse movies, and I would watch all of them just for Dalton.
Roadhouse in space.
Yeah. fucking Dalton is the best. Okay.
I told you to be nice.
Be nice until I tell you not to be nice.
Not to be nice.
That's it for this week. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come give me a follow.
Follow him there. Check the show notes for this episode. That's where the links to him and all our stuff are, how to support the show, how to share the show, tweet it out. That's the most important thing. Share it with your friends.
And then retweet it.
Tweet it, retweet it, and then retweet your retweets.
And then like those.
Then like your retweets. Start a Twitter thread. Post it on your fucking TikTok or whatever the fuck the kids are doing. Post it everywhere. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I fucking loved it. I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.